Good morning, viewers. We're going to start off with a garden tour so you get to know what we're working with. So when you come into the garden, you're hitting the center bed. We have 3 beds this summer. 1, 2, 3. And let me show you guys around. So we're starting down over here. We have pots all the way around the garden. This here is a peppermint plant. We've been harvesting some of it. And throughout the entire garden, you'll see little pots with these leaves in them. These are echinacea flowers. We're trying to grow them. I started them from seed, and we'll see if anything happens with it. And if it overwinters nicely, then we're going to put it in the landscape. And we'll create a pollinator garden one day down the road. So after these two, we have parsley. We have another one of those coneflowers. And we have lavender that the bees are loving. And I love watching them here. Going down the side over here, we have more of those coneflowers. Then this pot is really nothing. I thought that it has parsley and it overwintered nicely, but nothing really happened here. I technically should just dump it all. We have another one of the coneflowers, and we have a mint that is from last year. It is not thriving, but it did come back, so I'm not complaining about that. Oh, and look what I see. I spot a nasturtium flower. It's our first one that I am seeing right here. Oh, this is exciting. I like it. It is so beautiful. Wow. It's actually my only nasturtium plant that survived to this point. And the petunia here exploded. There's so many flowers. And no matter what animals kept getting into our garden, it's still coming back. We've had groundhog, and I'll show you the stuff that it destroyed. And we still have a chipmunk, but there's not much I can do for the chipmunk. So after that, we're in the bed now with the petunias. And we have kale here that we keep harvesting. We have it under the mesh fabric. Next we have some broccoli. So it's going to be kind of hard to see through the mesh. But let's see. No, it's kind of hard. Can you see it? No, it's very hard. I don't know why it's not coming up. Okay. After that we have, it's all blurry now. Okay. After that we have cabbages, 2 rows of cabbages. So what I learned this year for these things especially, I'm trying to show you the broccoli again, not seeing it. These are grown way too densely. I'm gonna have to grow them with a lot more space in between next year. After that we have peppers. So we have 3 back here. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 are different types of sweet peppers. And so far, what I've spotted, only this one has peppers. I'm gonna have to show you from the other side, I think. Oh no, here it is. 1, and you see the second one up there. This one, I didn't see any peppers yet. I don't think my pepper plants are the healthiest. They're doing fine, but I don't think they're the healthiest plants. Like this one doesn't have anything yet, but this one, see all these peppers, and it's so interesting how they're pointing up. It's so cool. And there's quite a few of them all over the plant. Now that one down there, also no peppers on it yet. This one here as well, but again, this one does have quite a few. We have that one, we have up here, we have up here, and that's another pepper one. On the side of the peppers, on either side, we have radishes. They're different successions. They were planted at different times, so they can be harvested at different times. Back here, after the peppers, we have carrots. And these, the chipmunk keeps eating the tops. So we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully the carrots will do okay. And then we have sunflowers. Now these are sunflowers that the seeds are going to be edible. We're going to mix roasted salted sunflower seeds with these. We're just waiting for them to be fully pollinated. The seeds should dry out, and we're getting so many heads over here. We have another one over here that's almost fully pollinated. This one here is getting ready to open up. This one here is getting ready to open up. And I know that back here on this side, there is one that is fully pollinated. Let me move the leaves away. It's fully pollinated. Now we just have to wait for it to dry out so we can have the seeds. So this is bed number 1. All this. Let me show you bed number 2, what we have over here. Okay, again, we have these coneflowers and we have some rosemary. I should really come out and harvest so they can put on better growth. It's my first time growing it. I put it in as a defense system for the animals. But I have to harvest them and dry it, and like that I'll use it. Over here we have some African daisies. It's putting on flowers. I love seeing how that plant is more yellow. This one's more orange, and it looks like this one will be yellow too. These are the first 2 flowers to come up for this bed. And now in here we also have some celery. And the celeries, we were struggling when we first transplanted them. Not all of them survived. And wherever we had spotty germination, I actually put in some carrots. You can see the carrot tops over there. You can see some carrot tops back there. There's some over here. And we'll see what happens. We also have a bird feeder right here. These birds are devouring. The piles back there are the soil from when we filled up these beds. These beds are new from this year. We ordered truckloads. We had extra. We have to do something with it. But back to the bird feeder. They are devouring it within just a couple days. It's like they're partying here on it. I hear the chirping all day long. So after the celery and carrots, we have 2 eggplants over here. So this one is just starting to put on buds right here. The other one has a flower that is starting to produce the fruit already. I'll show you guys that when we get there to that side. So I just spotted pollinating the cucumbers. So the cucumbers, we don't have anything that's big enough yet to harvest, but I know that we do have big ones. I know that there should be a couple on this side, like one over here, and I see one in there, but we have to wait for them to come to full size. Now yesterday, me and my husband came out here and we trimmed our tomatoes. They were so dense. We planted them too close together, and the foliage was just way too much. I was never able to water them enough, and there was quite a bit of damage. I'll show you. I see some of what we had cut off. I guess we missed one over there. So over here we have, these are beefsteak tomatoes. We have 3. We planted them across the bed, so, and they're all the same variety. So we have beefsteak over here. This is a slicer tomato, so it's pretty similar basically, beefsteak and slicer. And then we have this, it's called Super Sweet 100, where they grow a bunch in one row on one vine. Let me see if I have another one I can show you, like this one over here. After that we have a grape tomato. I forgot what it's called. I'm assuming it's something like this one. When I come around to the other side, I'll show you. And then we have these plum tomatoes. They're called San Marzano. And we have a bunch of these as well. And then all the way in the front of the bed we have zinnias, and the tomatoes are just like climbing through it. So the flowers are going to be in between, and I am totally okay with that. I'm actually loving it. Look at the zinnias, they're also starting to bloom right about now. Let me show you what I said that we removed yesterday. So the leaves that were looking sort of like that, you see the brown shriveled up one? That's the type of branches that we cut off throughout the entire tomato forest, we're gonna call it, because that's what it looked like, a tomato forest. Okay, we have more tomatoes. Let me find the type. Oh, the Juliet tomato. Juliet tomato, that's the grape tomatoes that we're planting. And I'm so looking forward to all of them starting to turn red. In between the tomatoes, we had planted some basil. And now I can see them and actually harvest them. Oh, and I forgot, in between the eggplants and the cucumbers, we had some dill, and the ground got bitten off, and I started some new ones. We'll see what happens with the new ones. And then let me show you over here the eggplant that is flowering and that is producing fruit already, and it's this right here. So this completes bed number 2. Now to bed number 3. In between those two beds we have another mint. This is a new one from this year, doing amazing. And again, more of these flowers. On to bed 3. So in the back we have asters. They are blooming, they are opening, it is gorgeous. I'm loving the colors. And then we have squash. We have 2 zucchinis, 2 squashes, same varieties, one and another type. And then back here we have sunflowers, tall sunflowers, and this it is so beautiful. It is giving me so much joy. I see it from my house and I love this. And it's bringing all the pollinators, which I love. Down here we have the green beans, which it is taking a little while for it to produce fruit because, like I'll show you over here, the groundhog had come in and bitten off the tops of all of them. A few days ago we had a nice heavy rain and it put on new growth on the top, new leaves, and I'm hoping that now that they're shaded out, these flowers will actually start producing the fruits and we'll be able to harvest green beans. Because so far I've been seeing green beans, but they're still tiny. They have to put on some size to it before we actually start harvesting it. But I'm very excited to be able to start doing that pretty soon. Now, over here in front of the green beans, we have radishes. So we had radishes over here, a whole row, that the groundhog came in and chopped down all the greens. I replanted these on Sunday and waiting for them to pop up. And then this succession over here was very spotty germination. Doesn't look like it's doing much. I'm gonna let it sit here and see. If nothing happens over the next week, I'm gonna pull them, and on Sunday I'll just start over again. And like that we'll have weekly successions, like a 4-week rotation. In front of that we have the scallions, which we just keep on chopping down. We are enjoying it so much that next year we have to plant so much more of this. This is not enough. Like we barely let it grow back before we cut down more. So we will need a lot more of this next year. And then in front of here, we had lettuce that the groundhog had partied on. And I put in some new seeds. It might be too late in the season. We might have to wait and start over once it's gonna cool down a bit. But we're trying. Doesn't hurt to try. So we'll see what happens with these. And this completes bed number 3. Did I tell you guys that the groundhog had gotten in and eaten at the kale and the broccoli? So that's growing back is amazing. Very excited about that. And now around, let me show you the other squashes and zucchini from this side. We see pollinators and we see good stuff going on. We have a squash down there ready to harvest. And then back here we have chives. Over here we have another of the coneflowers. Over here I started garlic chives. Should have put in way more seeds, but we'll let it do its thing for this year. We'll plant more next year and see what happens. I want to try the garlic chives. It sounds very intriguing. Now these pots over here also had the coneflowers, but they died out. They shriveled up. Over here we have some more. We have some more chives over here. We love the chives. More of the coneflowers. This is lemon thyme, and I should do some research on how to use this, what to use it for, because I think it could use a little bit of a haircut. We have more coneflowers, and this is orange mint, and this one is thriving. So this is our garden tour. Come and join me on my journey this summer as we learn to preserve all this that we are growing, whatever we don't consume. I'll show you how I consume all this as I harvest them, and anything that we don't consume I will preserve, which preserving is a new skill that I'm learning this summer. So join me as we learn this together.